Let's kick this thing off, you guys. I was going to interview a gentleman by the name of Scott Batista. He's been moved to August 31st. Something came up. And I had another gentleman I reached out to. This guy is a stud. When you hear his background, Andre LaFountain, but I got on with him Wednesday because he can't do it on a Monday morning. And I interviewed him. I'm going to play the recording for you. But I want to kind of start this off. You guys feel free to jump in here and turn on your videos, man, if you can. Good morning, Don. Thanks for jumping on. Melvin, come on in, brother. How are you doing, my friend?
Good morning.
Let me kind of kick this thing off. Before we get really started, I want you guys to think about something. What if one conversation a week could completely change your financial future? Because, guys, that's exactly what happened to me when I first started. One guy got in and things began to take off, and it boosted my confidence. And so as I continued to reach out, in the first year, I had 16 agents join, but I had three just like me who wanted something to look different a few years later, and they started to reach out and life began to look different. So here's a couple things I want to say. Most agents spend all their time chasing the next transaction, but very few spend any time building an income that continues long after the closing. What if you simply made it a habit, connect with one or two agents every week? Right, these could be agents you're doing business with, maybe you met at an event, maybe you connected with online, and you focused on building genuine relationships and providing value where you could, just think about where you could be 3, 5, 7 years from now if you just made it a habit to spend, God, an hour a week, 2 hours a week, just connecting with agents online, ones you've met on a transaction, so forth. So, guys, that's why I do these interviews. Every person I bring on, they've got something they can share with you that's going to help you shorten your learning curve. Find the same thing you do with buyers and sellers. Find the two or three different ways you want to connect with agents, provide value, value, value. At some point in time, they generally ask you about your business. I see you're at EXP. How are things going over there? Come up with your 30-second, if you want to call it elevator pitch, something that's what EXP has done for you. Right. So I just want to kind of start off that way because I appreciate you guys all coming that come here on a Monday morning. But you need to take some of these nuggets, implement the ones that are comfortable to you, and stay consistent, just like you are with buyers and sellers. So let me share my screen. I'm going to play this interview I did with Andre LaFountain. He has a pretty strong opening. Listen to this guy's background. It pretty is impressive. Then he just gives some common sense nuggets on what he's doing to build his business on the revenue share side. So let me share here. Let me enlarge this video. Enter full screen. All right, here we go. I'm going to giggle at the beginning of this thing, you guys, and I'll mention it, but I'll say it now. I I did the interview and Kelly was with me fasting when I did it Wednesday with Andre. In the first 10 minutes, I did not have record on. So I start laughing because we had to go re-record and redo everything we said at the very beginning. So bear with that, but it's only about 40 minutes. So, and we'll do a little Q&A after if we have a few minutes. So let me begin.
Good morning.
Maybe I got to play it, then enlarge it. There we go.
Okay.
Well, hello. Welcome, Freedom Team. Good morning to you. Hope everybody's having a great morning, had a great weekend. We're going to kick this thing off a little different this morning. I'm going to play you guys a recording of a gentleman that we are getting ready to interview, Kelly and I, by the name of Andre LaFountain. And to start off, I'm going to read his bio. You guys, I'm laughing because we did this for about 10 minutes and realized we were not recording. So apologize, Mr. Andre. Let me reread this gentleman's bio because, again, it's very, very important. Okay, let me stop here. No one's answering. Can everybody hear and see this when I play it?
Okay. Yes, I can.
Okay. Want to make sure nobody was responding when I was speaking up. Okay, let me get it going again. We'll jump right in and get to know what's going on with Andre. This guy has a crazy, phenomenal background. So real quick, you guys, Andre excelled in real estate industry for 35 years from the early age of 22 and has held the distinguished level of associate broker in the state of New York, where he and his partner owned and operated one of the top real estate agencies in upstate New York. Andre and his partner were selling over 300 homes per year consistently for many years, and Andre was ranked the #1 listing agent in Clinton County, New York for 7 years in a row. No one single agent has ever sold more homes than he did in his county. In 2009, the high-level national real estate coaching company that helped Andre and his partner become so successful offered Andre the national sales director and coaching position and asked him to move to Metro Atlanta, Georgia, to help them grow their real estate coaching business to the next level. It was Andre's opportunity to get out of the high taxes and the cold weather of New York and move his family south a lot sooner than they thought they could, so they took advantage of it. Andre's partner took over the real estate team in that business and still going strong today. Andre moved to Georgia and helped that coaching company grow from 100 members to 498, helping those agents bring their business to the next level. Andre was planning on continuing to be a coach and eventually retiring from his 9-to-5, six-figure per year coaching position until he saw the EXP opportunity. Andre knew this model would disrupt the real estate industry, and he wanted to be part of it. He is now licensed in Georgia and Florida. He moved to Southwest Florida because he wanted to have year-round warm weather, and because of the EXP model, he could live anywhere. So is now focusing on growing his real estate business called Christ-Centered Home Selling Team, brokered by EXP Realty, and it's helping his 1,340 real estate partners that are now located in 38 different states of the U.S. and 5 provinces of Canada, India, Poland, Spain, and Mexico to build his team of real estate partners in all 50 states, all provinces of Canada, and eventually all 28 countries EXP does business with to help them all grow and scale their real estate business and build generational wealth. He obviously loves getting referrals, loves networking, collaborating. He's here helping us. Obviously, no incentive to him at all other than we're one big fire. And we appreciate you, brother. He currently now, you guys, has 39 FLQAs, 73 FLAs, and 1,340 in his group. So, Andre, congrats, brother. It's a big hat off to you, man. Your background is amazing. So let's jump right into this thing. First of all, we appreciate you being on. And why don't we start off? I always like to find out, how were you first approached about EXP and what made you pull the trigger and come on over?
Yeah, actually, no one called me about EXP. I was, like I said, I was planning on retiring from that coaching company. I was happy there, but they made a change. And so I started thinking about getting back in real estate. I hadn't sold a house in 9 years. We were selling a ton in New York, but didn't sell any houses in Georgia. I didn't even have my license in Georgia. But once I made a change, the coaching company, I decided I'll decide to get back in real estate. I thought about starting my own independent brokerage again, but I remembered the heavy lift, the cost, the liability. So I said, I'll just join a team. Maybe I could be a team leader, or I could coach and train their team, or just be a listing agent, because I used to do all the listings, most of the listings in my office. My agents were mostly buyer agents. So my wife, she did both. So I thought I'd just find a team that I could have a little staff, be a listing agent as I was planning. And I asked my wife who she knew as a real estate agent in Georgia, because she was a broker for a company there with a bunch of agents prior. And she just gave me a name of a guy that she knew that she respected, and she knew he had a small team, I think of 4 or 5 agents. She said, you can call him. So it was Levi McDonald. I only met him once at a real estate Christmas party, and I reached out to him and told him I was thinking of getting out of coaching and getting back in real estate, and see if he's open to conversation for me to help his team grow by coaching, or maybe join his team, be an agent. And he said, yeah, let's get together. He sent me the Brent Go video. I watched it. Didn't understand it all at that time, but I said, oh, it looks pretty interesting. And then I met with him and Dan Hillsman in Atlanta, and they kind of shared the model, explained it to me. And as soon as I understood it, it was like, yeah, the real estate agents can keep doing what they've always done, sell houses and help the company grow, but instead of getting plaques on the wall. And I had a big box of plaques from Better Homes Gardens in Century 21, my early career, or before my independent. And my wife said, what are you going to do with all those plaques? You're going to put them on the new house in Georgia? It's like, nah, I chucked them. I threw them out. What am I going to do with them? But, with the awards and the things you get at EXP, I paid my kids' college from. So, I knew it was going to be a big deal. But anyway, that's how no one called me. I reached out to Levi, and I had to go and get my real estate license. I signed a letter of intent saying I'm coming, and then went and got my Georgia license, and then joined.
Levi is one lucky man, bro, that you've helped his organization.
I joined January of 2019. It was 7 years ago.
Wow. Okay, and so when you came over, so your wife was running a large brokerage. Did she bring some of those agents with her? What'd that look like?
No, she had left the brokerage a year before I did. we're working for a company, same person, but he owned the brokerage and he owned the coaching company. So she worked for the brokerage. I worked for the coaching company. She had left a year prior than I did, before I did. And so she was, but so yeah, we didn't bring any of those people over. I just reached out to Levi, and then, I mean, I've been doing this for 35 years now, but back then, 20, whatever the math is. So I had a lot of people in my phone, right? I never called a stranger for 2 years. I just picked the phone and called people. The thing is, this is important too. When I left coaching, I hadn't sold a house in 9 years. I had never sold a house in Georgia. I didn't have a license in Georgia. My business is in New York. So I knew it was going to take a minute to get my business rolling again. So I actually called up a friend in Tennessee and said, hey, I'm leaving the coaching company. I need a kind of a paycheck for a little while so I can pay my bills. I'm leaving my 6-figure income and get back in real estate. And I have 0 clients in Georgia. And I know he needed an ISA because he had 2 and he had a pretty big team. Mm-hmm. I said, let me be your 3rd ISA, pay me a small salary. I'll work for you from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday to Friday until I can get my real estate business going. It was good for him. It was good for me. So I worked for him from 9 to 5 Monday to Friday. And on the weekends and evenings, I was part-time. I was calling real estate agents that I knew from my phone to see if they're open to hearing what I'm excited about this new business model. Yeah. And then by doing that for 6 months, of course, the way it works, right? You call somebody, you intrigue them, get them to watch a video or some information, and then get them on with your senior business partner. So I was calling Jay Kinder and Al Stasic and Michael Reese, my senior business partners, to do 3-way Zooms pretty often. And 6 months into it, working with my Tennessee friend, Jay's like, you're pretty good at these 3-way calls. You ought to be our ISA instead of this Tennessee guy's ISA. And so I said, yeah, it makes more sense for me to be working for, somebody in EXP because my Tennessee is not. So I gave my friend notice and it was good for everybody. So then I started working for Jay and Al and Michael as their ISA, and I was calling agents that they were teeing up from LinkedIn leads, et cetera, for me to call to get them on a call with Jay and Al and Michael. Within 6 months with my friend and then a year with those guys, within a year and a half, I was at $10,000 a month in revenue share. And that was a goal. My goal was to get to 10 grand a month consistently. And then I could stop working the 9 to 5 and just focus on agent attraction through EXP. That was the plan. So I only recruited 3 agents in 6 months, actually 5, but 2 quit. So I don't count quit. So 3 agents in 6 months. And then by the end of a year, I had only 13 personal, but I average about 1 a month. Okay. I mean, if you look, I have 73 FLAs, 76 with husband and wife teams, 7.5 years, that's 1 a month, right? So I mean, I've had some months 2 or 3, maybe 4 the most, and I've had months with 0, right? But I average about 1 a month. So I stress that to people because if you were hiring me to recruit for you, you'd fire me, right? 1 a month isn't good. But we're doing Zooms and we're doing coaching and training and all this other stuff that we're doing. The reason why I can't do this on Mondays because I just decided a few months back, we've been doing this long enough. We're making 30 grand a month consistently. I'm going to take Friday. I'm going to take Saturday, Sunday, and Monday off. So that's why we're just, not. That was the plan, right? So you can slow down at some point. And it's really nice. Sundays, you're like, I got to go back to work. Even though I love what we do, it's like I'd rather sit by my pool and play with my puppies and have a beer. So anyway, I think I got off track there, but that was the goal. And to be consistent at the 10 grand. So I worked 3 more months for Jay and Al, for me to make sure the 10 grand was be consistent. And it did, it grew. And then they hired Nick and I helped train Nick to get rolling. So it was 2 full years as an ISA for my Tennessee friend and Alan J. By then I was at 15,000 a month, and we just grown from then. So 2 full years. Just like if I was a real estate agent selling houses, I was doing this part-time on the side.
And still built at that. I always wondered, because Nick Krim, we have him come in the first Tuesday of every month and train. I've heard him say multiple times back in the day for Kinder and Reese and stuff, he was making calls. So you hired and trained him, and Nick was hitting the phone, said he was making $100+ a day.
Not Nick Krim. It was Nick. Nick. He's from Ohio, near.
I wonder if Nick came in after you, because Krim worked for those guys for a while as well, making inside calls. Nick Krim did. Yeah, Nick Krim. I've heard him say that multiple times. I was thinking that's who you meant. But let's do this, because obviously, let me ask you this and tell me if we need to fast forward.
Nick DeVito. It was Nick DeVito.
Okay, I've heard that name, Nick DeVito. So back those first few years, are you doing anything different today to attract agents than you were back 7 years ago, or those first couple of years?
Not very much. I kind of ran out of people that I know from my cell phone, but I'm still following up with some of them people from 7 years ago. I had a guy that joined not too long ago, 6 years follow up before he joined. So I still have people that I still follow up with, but that hasn't changed a whole lot. You're just building relationships. Back then I was just sending the Bring Go video, because I didn't have time to show the video. The last several years, I just get people on a Zoom and I show them the Bring Go video. Recently, I'm also finally got the Gene Frederick napkin presentation down, so I'm actually do that. So I get my team to show the Bring Go video, and then get me on a 3-way Zoom, and then I'll share the napkin presentation, and show them the numbers and see how we can help them. And we're still using LinkedIn. We're still using social media. I mean, not a ton. I'm not a big social media guy. I'm a cold caller. I just cold call and talk to people,
We can definitely dive into that more. I just want to tell the group, I have a lady who just happened to ping me Sunday. I called her December of 2023 and had a conversation with her, and she has been on a drip campaign with me. I've only talked to her 2 other times since then, and she reached out to me Sunday. She said, hey, I'm over at KW. I'm looking at leaving. I want to talk with you. So I've got another meeting with one of my business partners. But yeah, that whole follow-up. So real quick before we dive into what you're saying on a call, your follow-up routine, do you have them drip campaigns? Is it a phone call every month? Do you mind me asking, what does that look like for your
follow-up? We got a drip campaign through Jay Kinder's
Go High Level
system that he has. They're our business partners, so they got their funnel pilot lead generation system. So that's a whole system in itself that we get people. We don't talk about EXP. Just, hey, do you want 2 to 3 more leads a month? Jump on this webinar and learn about it. So that's one big thing that we're doing different. Yeah. We weren't doing that in the past. I get a lot of leads from LinkedIn. My VAs will communicate with people on LinkedIn, ask them if they're open for a conversation, and about referrals and networking. And then we get them on the phone, and I'll just say, hey, one of my coaches told me a long time ago to reach out to other agents in and outside my market at least once a week to collaborate, network, do referrals. I've been doing it for 35 years, and it served me well. Thanks for taking a few minutes and talking to me about how we can help each other. And they're like, yeah, man, great. I should do more of it too. And I said, I normally just take 2-3 minutes. Let's each kind of share a little bit of our real estate background, the areas that we cover, our niches, and kind of go from there. Sound good? They always say good. I always say, yeah. I share a little bit of my testimony, my background. Don't say nothing about EXP. And then just about my real estate background and areas we cover, et cetera. And then I tell them, now it's your turn. And then I listen and find out what they're saying and, how many times they moved. And then I ask them questions after, because depending on if I share a lot of my stories, so a lot of times they'll share a lot of their story, right? If you don't share much, they're not going to share much. So I'll share a bunch, so they do. And then I'll just ask them questions, depending on what they said, and you can tell in their voice, they love what they're doing or they're tired or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Ask them what their goals are from 2026, what their big goals are, 5 or 10 years when they're ready to hang up their cleats. What do they aspire to do? Have a team, have their own company, and just ask them questions, get a feel for where they're at. Ask them how long, when are they going to get off the transactional treadmill? Are they ever planning on slowing down, retiring, or doing something different? And you get all those answers to those questions. And then I decide what I'm going to do. If they got Remax tattooed to their forehead and they ain't never moving, and you can tell, then I'll invite them over to the webinar and just don't even mention EXP and share the webinar about building their lead database or the closing. And then
that's a webinar that you personally host, or is that a recording?
No, that's Jay's live webinar that he does.
You invite them to the Thursday. Okay, yeah. I got you. Okay.
But if they're, if I can feel or tell that they may be open-minded and are they looking for an exit strategy, or they're tired, or depending on their goals, I'll say, hey, I don't know if this is for you or not, and I don't know if you're open-minded. You sound like you're open-minded, right? I mean, you're entrepreneurial-minded. And they'll say, yeah, of course. And then I'll share the rest of my story. And then I'll tell them the rest of my story of leaving coaching and I think about starting my own independent brokerage, but remember the heavy lift and the cost. So I looked into real estate, another model. And for me, I've been a solo agent, team leader, a broker owner, coach. I've never been as net profitable as I am now, even when I had my own independent brokerage. And tell them, hey, it's different for everybody. For me, it's referrals. I get paid on 10 to 25 referrals a month. Now it's really more like 300 to 400, but they wouldn't believe that. So I just tell them 10 to 25 plus, which is true, plus, right? Yeah. Referrals a month. Averaging me like 30 grand a month consistently for 4+ years. And it's only growing. And are they open to, do they have an exit strategy? Do they have a plan B? And then I'll tell them, of course, it's EXP. And then you find out what they say. They've heard about it or whatever. Doesn't matter what they say because they haven't heard it from me. And there's been a lot of changes, and 85,000 people, we're pretty high up on the influential list. So I just say, hey, stay where you are. If you're making as much money as you want, you have as much time off as you want, you have as much ownership as you want so that you can pass on to your kids someday. If you have all that, you should stay where you're at. But do you have a plan B? I talked to somebody literally 2 weeks ago, brokerage at 30, and their broker unfortunately passed away, and there's no backup plan, and they're all scattering. What's your plan B? Doesn't it make sense? I said, hey, I don't know about you. Did you see COVID coming? I didn't see COVID coming. Did you see Compass buying, Realty? I didn't see that coming. Who knows what's going to happen to our companies, our brokers, our, anything in the future. And our life and livelihood and our families depend on us selling houses and staying consistent. If something changed, doesn't it make sense to have a plan B kind of ready to go because you've done the research ahead of time and you have one? Or would you rather wait until something happens and then you're like, holy crap, this is going to disrupt my business? So I say, give me 30 minutes. I'd like to be your plan B. Let me share with you what I'm doing. I'll show you behind the curtain. And if you ever got to pivot, you'll know who to call. And if you never have to, let's just do some referrals together. Is that fair? And a percentage will say, yeah, that's fair. And I'll get them on a Zoom and then share the information and then go.
So are you still in that situation? Do you still press play today on Brent Go's video?
I have for up till about the last 3-4 months. I'm now actually showing I'm doing the Gene Frederick napkin presentation.
I got you. You do it yourself or press play on his? Do it yourself?
No, I'm doing it myself because he doesn't have all the videos that he's had, unless you can find one for me. He's giving the presentation to an EXP group of people. Yeah. On a whiteboard or on his little flip chart. I could get him to, and I never asked, but to do it like he was doing it to individual, then I would probably press play because there's no one better than him.
Yeah.
But I watched his video. He did it for the leadership team several months ago. And I watched that over and over again and taking notes. So I'm trying to do what he says, as much as I can. But it's been working. I mean, people, I don't think you can say or do the wrong thing to the right person, right? I mean, I tell my team, unless they're comfortable doing it themselves, just play the video.
Yeah. And so let's, if you wouldn't mind, for those that'll be watching, don't know how many people are going to be cold calling, but I do some of that as well. I'm just curious today, if you pick up the phone and you make a cold call, do you mind sharing with me kind of how does that flow a little bit? How do you start that off on a cold call?
Well, if it's like a LinkedIn kind of lead, then what I mentioned about referrals,
okay,
I do that a lot. Or if I just feel like, hey, just banging out the calls, and then I'll just use Jay's script as far as trying to get them to the webinar.
Okay.
Like today I was calling Canadians. I was calling Canada. I just changed the script up a little bit. Hey man, I'm a real estate agent in Florida. I'm looking for a great agent in Ontario, Canada. I know you're selling a good amount of houses. I'm looking for agents selling 20 plus or more homes a year because obviously they know what they're doing. I got an opportunity. My mentor has built out a lead generation system using AI that's just knocking out of the park. Agents are getting 2 to 3 closings per month. There's 3 ways you can involve. There's one absolutely free that costs you $0. That we partner up. You can buy it, or if you got some good tech people that, hey, just rip off and duplicate. But we're trying to get this out in Canada and want to see if you're open-minded just to learn what we're doing. We got a webinar Thursday. Are you interested? And I made 3 calls today in between other calls in Canada. One got her registered for this. She said, yeah, absolutely. I'd love to do that. And she sells 100 homes a year. Guys, a team of 4. The other guy reached, actually left a message. They called me back, and he said he can't make it this Thursday, but he's going to put it on the schedule for next Thursday, and I'll get him registered next week. And the third person I reached took my name and number and said, if they're interested, they'll call.
Gotcha. How are you finding those names, Andre? What do you use? What system?
Actually, I'm one of my Canadian partners just downloaded it from their MLS and sent it to me, and I'm kind of helping him. I told him, just give me a list. I'm going to help you. If we get anyone, I'll put them underneath you, and I'll take the FLQA so I can keep my FLQAs up.
Gotcha. So the Thursdays is working well for you. You've been doing it for several months, because I know Kelly that just got engaged with that and has a handful of her agents doing that as well. Do you mind me asking, have you been bringing in 1 or 2 a month from that system?
Yeah, I have. Well, I got about, I don't know, close to 30 apprentices supposed to be using the system. There's really probably 10 actually using it, because you know how it is. But the ones that are using it are doing really well. They're bringing in people. Sean, she's brought in several already. She's got some heavy hitters that are coming on, really heavy, that we're excited about just coming from that. So yeah, it's working. Again, it's a numbers game. You get enough people, if you get 10 to say, yes, I'll jump on, you get 5 that actually do. And maybe 2 are interested in learning more, and 1 or 2 are joined, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mentioned that
Jay pushes that. They push to do that and do nothing but that, and that's cool. But for me, it's just not one thing for everybody. I listen to decide where I think they're going to get the best value out of, and then go that direction.
Yeah. And I'm kind of going the same route as well. There's not just one trick pony. As some people don't want to pay for ads, don't even use Facebook, whatever it might be. Yeah. So there's any different way that you can help them. Let me ask you today to kind of narrow this down for a lot of folks that are on here viewing this, probably just like in your group, haven't really started to attract, or maybe they've dabbled in it. You being a coach and all that, if you were going to maybe speak to some of those that are only maybe dabbling, maybe they've got 1 or 2 or no one's on their team, but they're just not consistently doing it, how might you coach them or encourage them on what this could do? It's changed your life. It's changed my life. But what might you say to some of those folks that would like to build it, but what it really takes to get started doing this?
I just asked them, hey, how many real estate agents do you talk to in a week? You know, you're in the business. You're talking to agents. Instead of giving them feedback on showing time, call them up and give them feedback on the house you just showed. When they show your property, call them back and get feedback. And you're going to talk to them anyway, right? Go to events. We're talking to agents anyway. So start getting some relationships with them, and then just ask them if they're a bigger agent than you, stroke their ego and say, hey man, I've been watching you and I want to be like you someday. You're killing it. I'd love to get your opinion on something. Would you be open to just give me your professional opinion on a real estate thing that I'm looking at? And see if they're open to help. A lot of big people are open to helping and mentoring people, right? If you're talking to, somebody that's the same as you or smaller or whatever, that's easy, right? Hey, I'm always looking for good agents to mentor or to work with. Love to get your opinion on what I'm doing. Are you open to take a look at what we're doing, partnering up with us? It's just having as many conversations as you can, and you get the right people that are open. Not everyone's open, but if you go at them with giving them some benefits, like at a closing, this is Gene Frederick's idea, is after your closing or just prior to the closing, let them know, hey man, you did a great job, whatever is true and honest about that deal, and then say, I normally give a closing gift to my sellers and buyers, and just for the really, really good agents I appreciate, I got a closing gift for you too. When can we get it together and I can give it to you? You give a $10 gift, card, $20 gift card to Starbucks, or if you know them, they're who their favorite basketball, baseball, whatever team is, or if you know something about them, do something more personable. That's going to be more, and meet them for coffee or whatever. But it's just not being afraid. So people think, hey, I'm bothering these people, I'm recruiting these people. I ain't recruiting anybody. I don't see myself as a recruiter. I see myself as I give information to people that could change your life. And it's up to them to accept the information and to see if it's valuable to them now or in the future. And shame on me if I'm scared to get my feelings hurt because they're not interested. Because how you get over that is once you bring on a few people and you change their lives because they're workers and they're going to build their business and get involved and take advantage of all of everything EXP offers. We're changing not agents' lives, but their family, and even their kids and their grandkids. And I have people that are in that we've changed because we made the phone call and got it started. And I got hung up on, I got people, you should be ashamed of yourself, or you're wasting my time, whatever. I don't care. You just gotta, you're looking for people looking for you.
Like one of my business partners always says, you're going to come across everything between now and freedom, hanging up on all that stuff. But I always tell people in my midst of calls, very seldom do I get anybody who's rude. I mean, one out of every 100 calls, somebody might be kind of rude, but I mean, that's 100 talking to 100 conversations with somebody like, oh my gosh, quit calling me. That is rare. It really is.
Very rare, yeah. Especially if you're on the follow-up, if they're hot, I follow up, every few days. If they're warm, once a week or two. If they're cold, it might be, once every 3 or 4 months. But still, and then when you do follow up, whenever you follow up, it's always providing value, inviting them to a mastermind, inviting them to a live event, inviting them to here. I saw this. It was really intriguing to me. I think it could help you. And you give them value 3 out of the 4 times you call. And then on the 4th time you ask, hey, are you open to to talking to Jay Kinder or talking to one of my business partners.
Yeah.
And over time, things change,
Yep.
And the other thing is you can't give up on people. In the beginning, I'd call people, I'd get them to watch a webinar or a video, and they say, yeah, it's really great, but I'm not interested. Thanks. And then I said, okay, I guess they don't get it. They're not interested. Check. And I stopped calling them because they looked at it and they said no.
Yeah.
But that was a pretty good mistake because a lot of those people are now here under somebody else.
Yeah.
If I had every single person that I sent this to first, shared with them first, and I mean, not just say, hey, you heard about EXP. I mean, show them the video, give them information. But then they said no, and I stopped calling. If I had all of them in my team and the people that they brought on, I'd have probably 4,000.
Yeah.
Because some of the people have a lot of people.
Yeah. I mean, I always tell some of the team, I didn't really start a follow-up system like I'm doing now. I mean, consistently to literally about 9 months ago. I was using Serum Grow and doing some drips back about 2.5, 3 years ago. But those first 4 or 5 years I was here, I might have done 2 to 3 follow-ups. If they didn't answer, follow up, whatever, I'm done. And they just kind of moved in. And before I was using automation, I was using a binder. And I'm just writing down all the names and trying to keep up with it. And I got to where I was at 100 something and I was dropping the ball. And yeah, if you do this right, I always say, get a CRM, have notes, what you learned about their family, their kids, all that. Just so you have something to bring back up when you call them, add value, all that. I love it. Let me do one more question. I'll let you go, brother. And I really appreciate this. So let's elaborate a little more on, because everybody should be able to take advantage of what you just talked about a minute ago. Whether you're meeting another agent, you meet them at a networking event, whatever, or like you're talking about on the other side of a transaction and you go meet for coffee. If you go meet for coffee right then, what's mainly happening there? Are you just getting to know them, pouring value into them? Do you even bring up EXP at that first meeting? Or what does that look like?
You don't unless they do. So that first meeting, you just get to know them and network and, hey, what's working for you? You might then mention about what's working for you as far as, Jay's system or whatever. But normally if you just ask them about their business, hey, what do you love? What are the top 2, 3 things that you love at your office? What are the top 2, 3 things you'd like that you would change if you could? And then a lot of times they'll just ask you, how do you like EXP? And they'll start peppering you with questions.
Yeah.
And then you say, hey, I'm happy to answer those, but this is all about just getting to know you, and you kind of take it away from them.
Yeah.
And then they want it, and they want it more. You just mention a few things that if they do ask you that question, and if they don't, you just leave it at that, and then you follow back up another time. I haven't done that a ton. I have met with people, but it's just more efficient to do Zooms. And a lot of people I call, it's not close by, so I don't do a ton of in person. What I tell people is do whatever. You don't have to be good at it at first. You don't have to feel comfortable at it at first. But once you do it 10 or 100 plus times, you'll get good at it and you'll get comfortable. But pick what you're going to do, and you're going to do it consistently, and you're going to do it until you're ready to be free. If it's cold calling, if it's getting people to live events, if it's doing social media, I don't care. There's a dozen different ways on getting the information to people. Is how will you get the information to people and do it consistently every day. My goal at the beginning was 2 people a day, 5 days a week, to agree that they would watch a video, get on a Zoom, whatever. They would agree to consume the information. And if you had to call 5 to get 2, if you had to call 10 to get 2, you called as many as you had to call until you got 2 people to agree to consume the information. And by Friday, if I didn't have at least 8, I cheated and said if I had 8, I wouldn't work Saturday. But if I didn't have at least 8 or 10 by the end of Friday, I worked a half a day Saturday because I was working 9 to 5, right? For those 2 years. I worked a lot of Saturdays, and I worked a lot of times at 8, 9 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock at night, calling West Coast. When people say they don't have time,
Yeah, make time.
You have
So
to see.
let me ask you this as we wrap up. 30,000 a month consistently coming in, whether you get out of bed or not. Talk a little bit about what this has done to change your life and what does it look like for you and your wife, your family going forward? Do you see yourself eventually just totally pulling out of this and just living off what's coming in, or how's it change your life and what does it look like over the next handful of years for you guys?
Yeah, that's a good question. We want to, I think in the next few years, we can get to at least 50 grand a month, and that'll be pretty nice.
Mhm.
And then, I tell my team members who are interested in agent attraction, my goal is to get at least 1,000 partners that we help them earn at least 5 grand a month, because 5 grand a month will help a lot of people. And then out of that 1,000, I like to get 500 that want to make 10 grand a month.
Mm-hmm.
And I like to get 100 that want to make 25 grand a month. And we've been there, done that, and are doing it. So we can help you. Eventually like to get 50 people that want to do 50 grand a month, like I'm headed. And eventually, 10 people that want to earn 100 grand a month. I think it's doable because we have business partners that are doing it.
Yeah.
So how long will that take? I don't know. As long as we're healthy and we're growing. I do plan on, like I said, I'm taking Mondays off. That's just fun. But what has changed is, well, we moved to Florida. We had a new house built from scratch. We really wanted to be outside. We built a really nice pool. It's my back line is 50 feet wide is my house, and 45 feet deep is the cage, with a nice pool and a gas fireplace. We got a view of Babcock Lake, and
Nice.
We just chill every evening. I get done work, and, have a beer or snack or whatever, and go sit out in the corner, and we got wildlife out there and stuff, and just chill. We really enjoy that. But the big deal is we've been able to. My son just moved a few months ago. He sold his house in Georgia and moved here to Florida and rented a place near us, and they just closed. So I did sell one house this year. We just closed on his new construction home, 2-minute golf cart ride from us. So
Good for you, man.
we've been able to, make that all happen, and hopefully they'll start a family in the future, and we want to just be grandparents and travel. We like to travel. We just got back from Alaska last month. We had our first family trip with our 2 adult boys and their wives, because they just all got married a few years ago. So it was our first adult trip with our kids. That was really fun.
Yeah.
10 days and on Alaska cruise, and want to do a lot more of that. So, that's with this business, we can, we work hard. I'm not digging ditches, I'm not on the roof, when it's 90 degrees out, like some people are. We're in an air conditioning calling people, or, in nice houses showing them, right? But we put a lot of time and effort into it. And you can do that for as long as you want, but you can work hard for 3 or 4 days and then take 3 days off, or, kind of sets up your life the way by design. We're not getting any younger, right? And so we're going to do more traveling. And of course we go to EXPCon and all the different events, and we can try to add on a few extra days going to those events, to do fun things. But we get a lot of enjoyment of helping agents reach their goals. If it's get from 10 to 20, 20 to 40, get an exit plan. And it's a lot of fun. So we're gonna keep doing it for a while till it's not fun anymore.
There you go.
Hey, Sean,
Andre?
before you close, can I ask a question?
Yeah, please.
Andre, thank you so much. Your consistency, the value that you bring, it's beautiful. And what was the secret or the magic that got you from your consistency to get to that 1,300 plus agents? How did you create duplication in your group?
That's a good question. You never know who's going to be the rock star. You don't know. You think and the people you think are going to do awesome things don't do jack. And people that you never expected are going to work their butts off and build something. So there's no magic, I don't believe is just being consistent and calling enough people, and you're going to get the diamonds in the rough that do see the potential and get a good leader. And then when you get a good leader and they rise because they're showing up and they do what you ask them to do, and they get excited and they get involved, then you pour into them and help them grow, and give them everything you got so they can just take off with it. And I got a couple of people in Canada, my first Canadian, I hadn't talked to Pierre probably for 7 years, but I reached out to him. He was open just to listen. He actually did a three-way call with Al, right? Got him to Orlando to an event and moved his entire company. It only had 13 agents, but now he's got 30 or 40 in his team and 900 in his organization. That just started off with a phone call. And then another guy, Rick, that's 3 hours apart, and I reached out to him several times before I got him to actually watch the video. But anyway, I put those two guys together in Canada, and between the two of them, that's 900 of my 13, and the rest were just other people that that we've helped, and some have 5, 10, 20, 30 in their group. And you don't know who's going to do it. We offer it to everybody. I mean, I probably waste a lot of time because I'll talk to part-time agents. I'll talk to anybody willing to talk to me. Not that I go after, new or part-time agents, but I was a part-time agent. Yeah. When I first got started, well, I was really full-time, but I had a full-time job at a pharmaceutical plant when I was 22 years old. I got my license in that job in the same month, the same year in 1991. But I worked on a night shift from 4 in the afternoon until midnight. And I got my real estate license, and I worked from 9 in the morning to 4 in the afternoon. I did both jobs for 9 years. So it was really 2 full-time jobs, but still kind of part-time as what, normal people would say. So I know if we find the right person that'll do the work and they got the work ethic, we can change your life. So I just kind of share it to as many people as I can, and then they'll rise up to the top of who's going to show up. And sometimes they show up for a little while, and then something happens and they go away for a while. And then you're always looking for the leaders, and they will emerge, and then you help them get going, and then get out of their way, because, they will, they'll take off. And I think we all will end up finding those people eventually. And you just keep sharing it. And it's not just the people that you'll share with. I have good leaders that I got, especially in Canada. They did a good job, and they got people that got 20, 30, 100, 150, 250 people in their group because they talked to some leaders, right? So you're responsible to getting the first for you, but then you're responsible to help your people find leaders, and you'll end up getting them in your first, in whatever levels, and then it'll start blowing up.
Right. Thank you.
I don't know if that answered your question, but.
Perfect.
Yeah. And Andre, I was a brand new agent when Rob Flick had dinner with me, and I was just hungry. I was looking for something. So I wasn't selling real estate or anything when I jumped in.
No kidding.
Just a few home sales that first year, but I went after the rev share because I had tasted some passive income in a prior industry. And man, but I was hungry. My back was against the wall. I just lost a big oil and gas investment. Anyway, I sell that. Just for anybody listening right now, I agree with you. We try to go after producers, right? Because it's just as hard to get a producer. But at the same time, I'm with you. I'm open to talk with anybody if they're open, because you never know who that person's going to be that just wants it and they're willing to do the work.
Absolutely. If you talk to Rob Flick, he's got people that didn't have their real estate licenses at all, right? And they were doctors or whatever.
Exactly.
So he's looking for people with energy and good, good energy, and people that aren't afraid to work.
No doubt.
I met Jim.
We kind of stop it here, you guys. It's only got a few minutes left here, so we can kind of dialogue. But again, sorry having to play a recording and can't ask Andre questions directly. But anyway, just wanted to open it up. Anybody have any questions at all? We can dialogue right here. Anything that I can do to help? Yes, ma'am. Fire away, Danelle.
He kept referring to the video, and I'm wondering what video he means.
If you go to brentgove.com.
What is it?
Brent, Gove, Gove. So it's BrentGove.com. He's got his presentation on there. He's got all kinds of stuff. Brent Gove is the #1 rev share earner in the world. Bless
I'm
his little
sorry,
heart.
could you repeat that website?
Yeah, here, let me put it in the chat.
Yeah, thank you.
BrentGove.com. Let me open it real quick, see if presentation is right there. Brent has been an incredible in production for years and years and years. Came to EXP about 9 years ago. He's now the #1 earner in the world, makes well over $1 million a month in revenue share. So he's not necessarily selling houses, but he's got a team of about 25 agents who do. Let me see something here. Meet Brent Gove. I'm on the website real quick. Agent Hub, upcoming. I haven't been here in a while. Let me see if his presentation. Brent Gove's Media Hub, Real Estate Growth and Sell. Yeah. Scroll down a little ways. Tap to unmute. Let me see. Yeah. Yeah. 27 minutes long. So scroll down. You see down there where it says, keep scrolling.
No, I'm writing. I'm not doing it.
Oh, okay. When you go to the website, scroll down a little bit, you'll come to Brent Gove's Media Hub. You'll see a big picture of him right there. If you press play, it's 27 minutes long. There are still a lot of people who press play on that today. It's that darn good. Again, you've got the 15-minute presentation. We got Eric Golden's presentation, which I think is like 18 minutes. Whatever you feel comfortable with. That I always tell people is go watch the EXP presentation that's about 15 minutes long. Go watch Brent Gove's, go watch Eric Golden's. See which one, get familiar with all of them. And then when you're talking to an agent, from what you understand about them, their personality and stuff, you might figure out which one you think they might like best. Right? So you've got some different options.
Okay, so we have one for Eric.
One for
Brent
Golden.
Gove. Yeah. What is the other one? The 15-minute?
Yeah, here, I'll grab them both for you. And I'll put them in the chat as well. Revenue share. Freedom Team Zoom link and presentations. Here we go. Okay, here's the 15-minute. Okay, 13-minute and 15-minute. I'm going to put them both in the chat.
Okay.
Chat. Okay, right there. So you get Eric put one together. That's probably 2 years old, but still very, very powerful. And it's really more, if you're kind of wanting someone to see a little bit more about the Freedom Team, along with the opportunity, Eric's is that, the 15-minute, where he kind of goes into the 7 benefits of joining really the Freedom Team. And then the 13-minute overview is put together by the company. And that's the one I generally play if I send someone an overview, but one, because it's the shortest, but two, it does a very good general overview. And usually someone is pretty impressed with it and have a few questions. And if you get anybody to know to look at anything, don't hesitate to reach out to me, to Eric, to Jeff, and just line up a 3-way call. And, and just edify one of us, before to that person. And it makes it easier to bring them on a call than once we get on the call, edify them to us and edify one of us to them. And like we always say, edify us a little more than you edify the prospect, right? Because you want that prospect to be open to listen. And so edify whoever you're bringing on, me, Jeff, or, you know what I mean when I say edify?
No.
Just say something positive about, like if I was bringing Eric Golden on, I might say something like, oh, Danelle, you know what? I think you would really, really relate with my business partner, Eric. Oh my gosh, he's been in the industry about 35 years. He's run a couple brokerages. He flipped 350 homes in a 3-year time frame. One of the most incredible business leaders I've ever met. Extremely intelligent, very articulate. He's written a couple books. Anyway, if anything, I think you would at least get some great coaching from him. But do you have about 10 minutes sometime later this week? We'll just jump on a quick call with Eric. I'm trying to edify him, bring him up where that person's going, wow, man, I got an opportunity to talk with that guy. Or if you want to relate it to production and you're bringing up Jeff, I've got another business partner of mine, Jeff. He and his wife consistently do over 10 million in volume every year. Jeff is now also on his way to financial freedom. He's now helped over a couple hundred agents completely change their life. Anyway, I just think you would really kind of connect with Jeff and Lane, but you got about 10 minutes later this week. Maybe we can set up a quick call. You're just always building somebody up to make them want to get on that call with that person.
Okay. Are those calls normally on Zoom?
Can be. I like to do it on a Zoom if you can. I always say, hey, if you're game, I'd love to jump on a 10-minute Zoom. Obviously,
Right.
face to face always is better than us jumping on a call. Could we jump on a Zoom? You'd be okay with that? So I'm trying to lead with the Zoom just so that more rapport, more personal relationships being built if we're
Yeah.
looking at each other.
Well, I'm finally starting to get used to Zoom. I had never used it until a month ago,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
it's just so weird, but now I like it.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I do 98% of my business now via Zoom.
Yeah.
Yeah. One, because I'm up in the Colorado mountains, so it's a little different. I'm calling people, and I'm now spending time calling on people. You don't have to, you guys, but small to mid-sized markets instead of the larger markets. I was calling on Houston and Dallas for a while, man, and I was finding that the AI, more and more people were having AI answer for them, state your
Mm-hmm.
name and why you're calling. I mean, I was
Oh,
starting to get like one out of every 3 to 4 calls when I was calling Houston, going, wow, this was just maybe 6, 8 months ago. So I went into ChatGPT and kind of said what was going on. And that's what he said, you might focus on, I'm calling into Kansas City, calling into some different smaller suburbs in Alabama, some in Tennessee, and I'm getting very seldom to get that AI to answer for whatever reason. Some of the smaller cities and stuff aren't quite as advanced with the AI. They're not using it to
mm-hmm.
answer phones. Anybody else notice anything like that? If you're talking to, yeah, big cities, a lot of them people are saying state your name and why you're calling. AI is
Yep.
jumping on.
I get that a lot. I get that probably 30% of my calls.
Yeah, and what area do you focus on, Don?
I have a whole Florida list that Eric gave me. So,
Okay,
but I get that a lot. I got that with a lot of KW people, but I still leave them a message. I mean, sometimes they'll
absolutely.
pick up, sometimes they won't. And I'll just say, hey, blah, blah, blah. It's me. I don't use my name up front. I say, hey, Susie, it's Dawn. My name is Dawn Sweat. And then sometimes they'll pick up, sometimes they won't. But then I leave the spiel if they don't pick up.
Yeah, yeah. Gotcha. Yeah, good. Other question, you guys. I know it's a little bit after 10. I can hang on for a few minutes, but anything that
Yeah,
I can help with?
I'm very good at asking questions. So if I annoy you, let me know.
No,
So,
not at
um,
all.
oh God, now I forgot what my question was. Oh, do you guys ever get an agent? You have their email. Do you
Mhm.
ever send them the video and then call them and say, I just sent you something. I want, if you could take a look at it. And then they have it. So then
Um,
maybe, no?
yeah, I generally don't. If I'm trying to get some kind of connection with them, and like he was saying, seeing if they're open, right?
Right.
And
Okay.
I kind of when I first started, because a lot of times people are like, I don't. If you guys are all selling real estate, you should have a bunch of names. But if by chance you've gone through them or don't feel comfortable with that, I used my phone when I first started. I had hundreds and hundreds of contacts in my phone. And that first year when I got in, I didn't know but 12 real estate agents. Jeff Morrell was one, Eric Golden
Hmm.
was two. They're my front line. I brought those guys in. So tell me that isn't a blessing. Jeff
You
been in
brought
real
them
estate
in?
for yeah, so Jeff had been in real estate for what, 16 years when I called him, and I was a brand new agent. But I knew Jeff from a prior industry, and he was open to look at something. But he told me, right, I had this. Both Jay and Jeff Morrell both said the same thing to me when I invited them to look at something. They both said, "Listen, Sean, I'll take a look because you're a friend, but I'm just telling you right now, I would never change brokerages. I've done that,
Mm-hmm.
been there, done that. Both of them
Mm-hmm.
joined within a week of looking at it. You just don't know. Jeff didn't know what he was going to look at. He just thought it was another brokerage. When
Yeah.
Jeff saw the stock and the ability to build rev share and all of that on top of the production, he's
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, he and Lane ended up within a week of me calling. They both ended up joining.
Which video did you send Jeff?
Back then, the Brent
Okay.
Gove video. Yeah. And Brent has evolved with it. I was doing that one or Rob Flick's video. Rob has one out there, but I think his is a little bit longer, like 38 minutes. Brent's
Mm-hmm.
is 27. Brent's is very engaging. He's very boisterous, but yet very energetic, very articulate.
Mm-hmm.
It captures your attention. Even though it's 27 minutes, Brent definitely pulls you in because he's so over the top enthusiastic. But
Mm-hmm.
anyway, great presenter. He literally has done the presentation for corporate for years. They picked Brent to do it. But watch that 13-minute one, totally different kind of video than what you're going to see from Brent, right? So there's two different approaches right there. But biggest thing, if I add to it, what everybody, all these interviews I keep doing with agents, if you don't feel comfortable jumping right into EXP where a lot of people don't, you're just trying to connect with an agent, at minimum, find a referral partner, and just start providing value. And you ask them questions about, how long you've been in real estate, how'd you do last year in 25, what are your goals this year? most agents you talk to right now, their production is lower than it was just a couple years ago.
Right.
So they're generally open-minded if you have a way to provide value. Find out what are they looking to do, what are their goals, and if they're talking about, well, my goal was to do 20 deals this year, but I'm only done about 5 right now. And so what are your goals moving forward? What are you going to do different to get those extra 15 deals? If what you're doing right now is not working, you might be asking, what are you doing? What are you going to do different? You
Yeah.
have so many things we can provide value to. And let me say this real quick before we jump off. He referenced on Thursdays, there's a live Zoom. I'm now inviting people. There's a guy by the name of Jay Kinder. Jay Kinder and Michael Reese. Michael Reese is running the Attract ROI, Danelle, that you're using right
Yes.
now. Well, his
Yes.
business partner, Jay Kinder, he runs another system. They call theirs Funnel Pilot. And every Thursday, Jay Kinder and his implementation team, there's 6 of them, they come on and do a live Zoom every Thursday from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Mountain Time. If you guys ever want to invite an agent to it, like this Thursday, if you just want to watch it yourself, very impressive. They're averaging almost a 50% sign up rate. If you get a prospect to watch Thursday's live Zoom from Jay and his implementation team, almost a 50% sign up rate. And they're talking about the funnel pilot, mainly geared toward new construction. But just like Michael Reese, you can go after any niche you want, right? It could be military, first time home buyers. But what's winning right now? New construction, because so many of the builders are offering incentive money and they can buy the rate down. You can get people into, high 3s and low 4s right now, interest rate, if they take that incentive money from the new construction builders and buy the rate down. That's why new construction is doing very well in most of the cities and states around the U.S.
I think that we're setting me up on the Attract ROI and with Michael Reese and that. Is that okay? I mean, should I be with this one?
Oh, no. Go with Michael Reese, especially if you got Jeff right there. Jeff knows
Yeah.
his funnels inside and out right now.
Yeah, we're on.
You'll have your customer support from Michael Reese and stuff, but do not hesitate to jump on with Jeff at least once a month, would be my opinion, and have Jeff just look. If you're not getting one, you want to keep your costs down. If you can, around $3 to $4 a lead, and Jeff can help you with that. And if a video is not really pulling like it should, he may have you just redo another video, just do a different one. But Jeff's got to where he knows that system inside and out, so he can help you kind of tweak. He was doing, maybe he still is. I think every Monday, is Jeff still allowing anybody with using the Attract ROI to come on Mondays and just talk with Jeff? He had a standing meeting.
Honestly, I'm not sure what everybody's schedule is. I pretty much know that there's going to be something at 11 and my fast cap is at 1 o'clock,
Yeah.
three times a week
Yep.
for 6 weeks. But, it'll be like, oh, go on that, go on that, go on that, go on that. And there's just so many that I'm trying to figure out who's what.
Yeah. Well, you've got Jeff's link for his to be able to book a Zoom with him, right? He's giving you his calendar.
Oh, yes. We're on at 3 today, actually.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so when you get with him, he'll help you kind of dial in that funnel system. He's got a way to look back there and so forth. So you're on the right path. If you stay consistent with that, it may take you, just for all you guys, we don't want to just push funnels only, right? All kinds of ways to produce. But that funnel system, if you stay consistent and you're getting leads that are coming in, just like anything else, you may have to have 100 leads to find one that's going to close. But if you do that every month and spend $300 a month, and you're
That's exactly what I'm doing.
Okay, let's say you're 4 months in, you're thinking, oh my God, I keep spending. If you spent $1,200 and you get a closing, what's your closing? $10,000?
Yeah,
All day
absolutely.
long, I've spent $1,200. So many
Right.
people go, I tried it for 2 to 3 months and they quit. And I'm thinking, you got to let the database warm up, the automation, the emails and texts. If it took you 6 months to get your first closing, what did you spend? $1,800 to get 10,000. But now you've got about probably 600 people in your database. The automation keeps dripping. You got another 60, 80, 100 coming in every month. At some point in time, that database is going to start to evolve. And before you know it, you'll start having a closing a month. Just a lot of people will not stay consistent long enough, no matter how many times I say what I just said. If it took you 6 months to close your first one, you spent 1,800. You're probably going to close a new construction. Most of them are 400,000. You're probably going to take home at least 9 to 10 grand.
Yeah.
Right. So you spend 1,800.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's just stay consistent. But now it's like Jeff always says, what's the biggest benefit of this whole system? You're building a database. of potential buyers and sellers. Some may not buy for 6 months, some 1 year, some 2 years, but that automation continues to communicate with them. And at some point in time, if you're the system and the person who keeps following up, and maybe you add another couple videos to YouTube, they find you
Yes.
on there, they watch your ad, they kind of like it, it's connected to YouTube, they watch a couple more, they start to like you, trust you. And before you know it, in their mind, honey, when we're ready to buy or sell, we're calling Danelle. I love her videos. This lady continues to follow up with us, even though it's automation. It's all about consistency.
Yeah. No, that's my plan. And honestly, being a buyer's agent at times, I always try to push a brand new home. And there's a lot of reasons that you just went over.
Yeah.
You know, there's so much less to worry about, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that there's a funnel for that, because that's what I'm comfortable with doing. So
Yeah.
I'm thinking it's going to work out pretty well.
Yeah.
I'm hoping. And and the guy, Michael Reese, was in a video, and he kept saying the fortune's in the follow-up.
Yep.
It's
Absolutely.
not focusing on the person you're working like, oh my God, I got a contract, right? And just focus on that. So yeah.
Just maintaining it. You got anybody else using the funnel system, or have they tried it? Tony, Leanne, Don, you're on it too, Don? Okay. And Don,
you're brand new homes for Dawn?
Don, are you doing new construction as well?
Yeah, I am. And I'm glad you said what you said, because I get, I'll call these people and I'll get a lot of no's initially.
Yeah.
A lot of stop, a lot of no's. And I mean, I haven't gone through all the prompts yet and all the tutorials. So I'm not, 100% doing all the other stuff, but it's a lot. I will say that. So I'm glad you said what you said, because sometimes I get a little frustrated with it. And it's like, okay, I'm putting out all this stuff and nothing's coming back. So.
And how many months you been doing it, Don?
Since April.
So April, May, June. So you're at about 900 to 1,200 in.
Yeah.
Right. Have you had anybody you've connected with where you've been out showing?
Yeah, I've connected with some people, and there's some people, or they'll say, come back to me at a certain time, which I'll do. I've got it all set up for that. And then there's some people I'm kind of, working with. But, and like I said, and great, they're an immediate no, but I still need to know how to kill them, so they don't show up on my stuff all the time. But I will get to that. So
yeah. Yeah.
Can I ask?
Go ahead.
Sorry. Dawn, do you have it like set where it's working with Bold Trail?
I don't, and that's another thing I need to do.
Yeah, that's weird. That one weirds me out for some reason.
I do need to do that. I will tell you, I just got overwhelmed with other things in my life, so I'm still going through all the tutorials and everything.
Yeah.
And I'm also doing the attraction. I'm also in the new in the honey badger thing. I'm in a lot of stuff, so I try not to get overwhelmed.
Yeah. When she said the honey badger stuff, Danelle, that's the Thursday. So again, Michael Reese and Jay Kinder, even though they're business partners, they're both running their own funnel system. One's a Tractor Eye with Michael Reese, and Jay Kinder's running Funnel Pilot. But Jay's, the only thing he's doing different that Don's doing and I'm doing right now, I've been doing it the last few months. I've signed up 4 people. I'm just inviting them to this Thursday live Zoom. The average person utilizing that system generally has about 4 to 6 buyer-seller conversations a week. Average agents getting about 80 to 100 leads per month. You got to go through those, but you can let the automation warm them up a little bit. But if you're willing to call those, you're generally going to find out of every 80 to 100, you'll generally find, I'm going to say probably out of 100 leads, this is what I keep hearing from most agents using it. 100 leads, you might have 25 to 30 conversations out of those 100. 5 or 6 of those will probably be good conversations, which should eventually lead to 1 to 2 deals.
Yeah.
But again, if it took you 3 or 4 months to really warm that database up, at the moment you get about that far out, you should start having a closing a month. Stay consistent. That should lead to 2 closings a month. It may take you 5, 6, 7 months, but boy, once that system's up and running, it can be life-changing, right? At least you're not having to go, not saying don't do it, but to wake up to potential leads coming in every day. Don, are you at least getting 1, 2, 3, 4 leads coming in a day? Or what's your system doing? Okay.
Yeah. Or maybe there'll be a day where there's not 1, but there'll be a day where there's 3. There's a lot. And then what I find happens is like, you get on the call at 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock is when the funnel people call you back for the other things, But in the
Yeah.
meantime, I've usually contacted them first before that. Unless it's 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm not calling people 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Which I
Yeah.
get. I do get stuff at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. Yeah. The database is running 24/7. Yeah. It's a different world right now.
I think I'm going to keep it just to this process, this funnel thing for a while, because I don't want to get myself overwhelmed. So when you have so many things to do,
Yeah.
it's just a very unsettling feeling. And I don't like that. So I'm trying to get everything narrowed down, like Dawn, and just every day you kind of know what to expect. So
it's like a fire hose. And I mean, because there's so many, and then so Tuesdays you'll go on a call and there's some other thing and it's like, oh, this person's doing it. It's fabulous. But I can't do everything, you know?
Right.
And so you have to kind of pick and choose what you're going to do and where you're going to spend and am I great at this yet? No, I feel a little scattered, but I'll get there.
Do you mind me asking what you're paying per lead a month?
I don't know because I'm not doing my KPIs. I'm not doing the KPI thing. That's another thing that I need to do. I'm spending $10 a day. I can tell you that.
There you go. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm starting with that.
I find that's plenty. If I ever get to the point where I need to do, I don't think I need to do more. I mean, I'm in a pretty populous area. So there's and there's a major development like about 10 miles south of me called North River Ranch, which is booming. So that's primarily where my focus is. And I get plenty of stuff. And, but then that said, I'll get people that like, okay, I want to do something on the East Coast. Well, new houses, I can sell you pretty much anywhere. So I'll, do that. So, it'll work out. It's just a process and I still need to get through it.
Yeah. Go ahead, Leanne.
You know what? Now I completely forgot what I was going to ask.
We're all getting older, right?
I'm not the only one.
No. It was something to do with the $10 a day. Oh, I know what it was. I'm sorry. So how many videos of the new construction homes do y'all have on your, I was in it for a while and then I've gotten out of it and I'm trying to get back into it. So how many videos do y'all actually have on your account?
I have 0. I bought the little thing that you can put on your iPhone that won't make your stuff rock. I bought that, but I have not done.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Well, it's some tool that you can buy. It's like $40 or something that you stick on your iPhone. So a gimbal, is that what you call it?
Yeah, gimbal.
So you can.
So I bought one too. That thing,
not weird. So like when you're walking around, it won't rock. But I bought it. It's in the box, but I have it.
Yeah.
Is that the camera?
It's not an actual camera. You stick it on your iPhone and it keeps you from rocking. It keeps your phone steady while you're walking.
Is that with the D?
Gimbal. Gimbal.
GIMBEL or GIMBLE. I'm not sure. Gimbal.
Okay.
Let me grab mine real quick. Don't go anywhere.
There's different, and you can buy different levels. You can buy a deluxe one. You can do it, but I didn't do that. I got like a $40 one.
Okay. But you don't have any videos of the?
No, again, so much that I haven't even gotten through all the videos to do the videos.
Yeah, here's what it looks like.
Okay.
Gimbal, yeah. So when you hold it and you're moving, it moves with you. It stays on your face. And like you said, if you're walking, you're not getting movement. So you could be walking outside doing, she got it right there.
I got it right there.
Yeah, same thing I use if I'm going outside. So yeah, and it walks.
So now, do y'all both already have your YouTube channel up and running?
No, I just picked a name for it today because I'm not getting calls yet. And so I'm just getting started with it. And I just want to know, I only have a few things to do. I don't get my brain gone all over the planet with everything. I haven't used my gimbal. It looks like it'll work. It's supposed to like a much smoother video instead of like you walking,
Right.
Yeah. You catch yourself in the mirror and you didn't mean to and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
I got some calls when I was on there, but they were telling me, oh, we didn't do this, or, they just want to see the little white house that I had posted on the thing that is automatically there. And I'm like, well, that house don't exist.
Yeah. I got in touch with 3 different builders that I know. And once I can figure out my gimbal, then I'm going to go and like one of them, if forget the name of the company, this guy named Bob. Anyway, he gave me a list of what they have right now, and there's 7 homes that are up for sale that are completed. And I did a couple videos, but I did not like it from not having the gimbal because it was very not smooth.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, it's funny
That
you
might be
mentioned
my
the thing
problem,
about the
too.
picture because I've had people comment too, like, I like the picture of this house that's on here and I can't find it anywhere.
Right.
So I've had that.
And
happen
they'll say,
2 or
where's
3
this house
times.
at? And I'm like,
Yeah, where's this house? Because it's a really cute house, but I don't think any of the builders around me build it. And a lot of people are
No.
like, your false advertising, this house isn't there. So I need to go
Right.
back and change my picture to something that's available. So I will do that eventually.
Yeah. I need to do the same thing. I want to get mine back up and running, but I was having issues too, setting up the whole YouTube thing and putting those videos in there.
Yep. It
'Cause
can
I
be
don't really
very
understand.
intimidating.
Yeah, it is.
It really is. And it's I mean, I signed on after like a month, and I told them it's going to be really a while before I do anything. So, I mean, I've been with them like 2 months, like signed up,
Mhm.
and I'm just now getting to it, and I had,
Well, I've been here over a year now.
oh yeah. So maybe we can help each other, if we're all kind of doing the same thing.
Let me put my phone number in here.
Okay.
And if, I'm
And Leanne, were you doing it with Jeff or with Andy? Who were you doing it with?
Jeff.
Okay. Yeah. You ask again when you have your 3 o'clock now. Ask
Yeah.
if Jeff is still, because he was meeting. I got on a couple of them a couple months ago. He was allowing anybody that's using the Attract RI to jump on every
Mhm.
Monday. He had a certain time set aside for an hour.
See,
if
I
you
didn't
can-
know that.
Yeah, ask him today. Are you still doing
Yeah.
that, or would you be open to that? I was just talking to Leanne. We were on a Zoom earlier. We both would love.
Well, you can get on his calendar and book anything with him at any time.
Yeah.
If you've got his calendar link.
Yeah. Yep.
Because, and ask him if you're not, because there's definitely a learning curve to using YouTube and how to upload those videos.
Mm-hmm.
What I would do if you guys, if either you can use, AI to try to do it, or just say, Jeff, if you wouldn't mind, can we when you get on today with 3 o'clock, record it, make sure it's recorded, and maybe ask him, hey, will you take 3 minutes today? Show me how you upload your YouTube video and it's recorded. So then you can go back and look at that, because there is a learning curve to that, getting that.
We need to have a training on that.
Yeah.
I can ask him.
Yeah. I mean,
I
really,
want to be involved in it if y'all do.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I go into chat and
Mississippi.
I go to chat GI and I ask how to do things technical, and it saves me a lot of hassle and a lot of like waiting around for somebody to give me an answer.
Yeah.
Chat is great for that. How
Yeah.
do it'll give you a step by step, because it's inevitably when I'm having these frustrations, it's like 10 o'clock at night and I can't reach anybody. And my patience is very little for stuff like this. So
Yeah.
I found that chat has been a great tool for that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Dawn, you and I live in Florida. So was it Leanne?
Yeah.
Her picture's gone.
Yeah.
When you're in Mississippi, what time is it in Mississippi right now?
Right now it's 11:23.
So you're an hour and a half.
Okay.
It's an hour behind us. Okay.
Mm.
Okay. I'm going to mark that
All
on your
right.
thing for you. Yeah, we should. Where are you at, Danelle?
Ocala?
Oh, I'm in I'm between Tampa and Sarasota.
Yeah, that shows up on your picture here.
You should,
Mine doesn't say where
you
I'm.
should put that when you put your name in. I just put in because you never know. Anyway.
I put
All right.
my
Well, this
phone-
was good. It kind of went a different direction than what we thought it was going to go, but that's good. Oh, let me put you in there too, Jamie.
Yeah.
Don't throw the chat off yet before I put you in.
Not at all.
Let me look at. I want to do a screenshot of all the addresses.
I'm calling you guys
phone
whatever
numbers.
your name funnel is your last name for all you people.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, this is great stuff, but it can be a little overwhelming. And even though I've been an agent for close to 30 years, everything's so different in the last couple of years, and which is good and bad. But I try not to get too overwhelmed.
Yeah.
But it happens.
I'm glad I'm not the only one.
No, I don't think you
No.
are. I think you are far from the only one, because my one person that I've brought in, I think she's having some stuff too. So, but do be paid, but I feel good that I did get I've gotten my first person, so it takes a while, but
That's good.
and as I get better, I will get more people, but I think it's the way to go. I mean, the long-term thing, because I mean, I've been selling houses for 30 years. I'm ready to do something else, and I'll still sell houses, but I like this idea of bringing other people in and helping them and really helping shape their futures and mine.
Mhm.
Yeah. I'm so glad you guys all
Me
exchanged.
too.
That's what a lot of this is about. Let's network with each other. That's why this whole freedom team. And if you guys go to the events, man, set a goal every time you go to these major events. Every day, try to find 2, 3 people you connect with, exchange numbers. At minimum, your referral partners, because they're from all over the US. And what if
Yeah.
that just led to one referral the next 12 months? Well, that's
Right.
probably another 4 or 5 grand. It paid for the entire event and then some. But yeah, just continue to build these
Now,
relationships.
I wish I could have gone on the cruise, but I had something going. I couldn't do it. I wish I could have done it.
Me
Are
too.
you
If
guys
y'all
set
do
up
one next
for-
year, I'm going.
Yeah. Are you guys set up for I don't know if the Dallas Build event's open for everybody, but the Charlotte event is coming up in September and then
Oh.
EXPCon is in October.
Right.
I'm
Okay.
going to EXPCon.
For
I'm
sure.
trying.
go
I may
there.
go. I'm still trying to figure that out, but I would like to do that. If so,
Yeah.
we'll meet up and we'll have lunch.
Yeah, Salt Lake City, Utah is where that's going to be, Danelle. So you can just go, you can go to online to Google right now, just go search EXPCon 26. It's coming up in October in Salt Lake City. Definitely want to go there. If you have not been to one of those, mind-boggling. There may be 10 to 15 classes going on at any given time, and you've got the whole list of exactly what you want to go to, and you can map it out for those 2 days and go to whatever classes you want to, but make it a goal to try to network with whoever you're sitting to, introduce yourself, how long you've been here at EXP, exchange numbers, find referral partners and stuff, so you're taking advantage of that as well. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right, ladies. Well, thank you for hanging on, you guys, and I'm glad you guys have all exchanged numbers. And look forward to hopefully it goes well today with you and Jeff.
Okay, so you want me to record it and you want me to ask what time his Zoom?
Yeah, are you still doing Sean mentioned you were doing a Monday Zoom to help anybody
Okay.
who's using Attract ROI. Are you still doing that? And maybe you
Okay.
can say, I was on with Leanne and Don. And yeah, we would love if you're still doing that on Mondays. Because he's one to have him just take a look. How's your ad doing? He can help you show your ad cost. What's your ad cost? Maybe tell you if you need to maybe do a different video. So he has sometimes 2 videos going at one time, or has a video and a stagnant, advertisement. And sometimes that stagnant advertisement can pull in leads. So just, really pick his brain, man. Jeff has got this thing down now. Pick his
Okay.
brain, and that should help a ton.
Can I ask one more question?
Yeah.
Okay, so the Attract, so that's not necessarily having the videos for your YouTube, is it?
They're kind of in conjunction. So you run your
Okay,
ad
I
on
thought they
Facebook.
were, but I wasn't for sure.
Yeah, so you're running your ad on Facebook, and you would love to start creating, set a goal to maybe do for you guys. I know everybody's overwhelmed. Maybe set a goal for the next month, do 1 YouTube video a week. So you'll look up in 30 days from now, you'll have your funnel ad running on Facebook. But from there, when they want to see more videos, you'll say that in your ad, hey, to see more homes and more new construction around the so-and-so area, click my YouTube link. Boom, they go over, and now you got a few videos over there. The more your prospect can watch you and just be real. Don't worry about retakes. Don't worry if your hair's messed up. You say, be real and genuine. They're going to like you for you. Somebody's going to connect with you. And as they start watching those videos, they start going, man, I just really like Don. I just really like Leanne. Whoever it is, they're going to be my agent. And then when you can, that AI is built in that continues to communicate with them, you keep adding. After you get maybe 3 or 4 videos, then maybe set a goal to add a video every 3 weeks. But you'd love to get to where you've got 6, 8, 10 videos. That sounds crazy, but if you can look up 6 months from now, you've got 8 or 10 videos, and then maybe the old ones eventually you swap out and do a new one. But when they can continue to watch you online, your videos, they just start to like you, trust you, and fall in love with who you are. You connect with them in whatever way it is, right? And they're going to choose you to be their agent, whether it's now, 6 months, or a year from now.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, this was very good. Thank you so much.
You guys are very, very welcome. Hope everything's
Thanks for staying on longer with us.
Oh, absolutely. You guys
Yeah, this is a really good call. I really super appreciate it. It kind of took a different turn, but it was great. Thanks.
Love it. Absolutely. Thank you, ladies. Have a blessed
Thank you.
All right.
Take care.